Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Made it to the end of another week. Preseason's underway. And we got something really cool going on tonight with these Seahawks. Got something different, something interesting, something that actually only happens once a year. First, before I get into that, I just want to say thank you to everybody who showed up to the Hawks Nest stream last night. Me and the Hawks Nest streamed together for the first time in a couple months. It went well. It was a lot of fun. And if you watched, I hope you enjoyed. If you haven't watched yet, the VOD is still live on my channel, so go check it out. And yeah, that's really all there is that needs to be said about that. We're getting back into the cadence of things, and soon we'll be streaming every week, and soon we'll be streaming multiple times a week. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about tonight, because something happens tonight that, again, only happens once a year. The Seahawks Mock Game. Tonight at about 5:20 p.m. it'll start, and it'll go for however long it needs to go. I know it doesn't follow the strict rules. It doesn't follow the exact timekeeping rules of a typical NFL game, but it is the next step towards the preseason. So we got the article from 12th Man Rising up on the screen here. It lays out some of the details. The thing I want to highlight here is the game starts, like I said, at 5:20 p.m. Friday, August 4th. Now, the game is not going to be televised, and I don't believe that it can be streamed either. I don't think it gets streamed on YouTube. Maybe they changed it this year. I know in previous years it wasn't watchable on the internet either. So I'm not expecting to be able to watch it because I am not going this year. I know quite a few people who will be. It's pretty cheap. It's pretty easy to get in. There are definitely going to be people who go, and it should be a good amount of fun, but I'm not going to be able to get up there at that time of night, and dealing with the weather, I just probably wouldn't have a very good time of it. But to those of you out there who are going, I hope you guys have fun. Hope you guys get something out of it, but I will not be among them. So odds are good that I won't be able to watch the game like most of us. But we are going to learn things from this game. There are going to be a lot of people tweeting about it pretty much nonstop once it starts. They're going to be tweeting about the plays. They're going to be tweeting about the players. So we're definitely going to be able to kind of follow along, even though we're not able to watch. And we'll definitely be doing that. I'll probably make a video after the game kind of wrapping everything up, either later tonight or tomorrow morning, depending on when things wrap up. And it'll give us a little bit of an idea of where the team might be going into the preseason. And that's kind of the central thing to look at here when you're evaluating the mock game. The mock game is more than training camp, but it's less than a preseason game, I guess you could say. It's like a process. You start with your OTAs, you build to your training camp, you build to the mock game, you build to the preseason, and then you're building to the regular season. So this is the next step. And like I said, this is the only mock game we're going to play this year, so it's a great opportunity for a lot of players, a lot of fringe players. Now, the good news is for these guys, we no longer have stages of cutdowns. It used to be 90, one preseason game 85, one preseason game 80, one preseason game 53, and then the practice squad gets put together. Now it just goes straight from 90 to 53 after the third preseason game. So there are going to be more opportunities for bottom of the roster guys, but the mock game is still a good opportunity for a lot of guys to prove themselves. And it's an opportunity for us as fans and viewers to get an idea of who's progressing, who's developing quickly, who's coming along. And it's just a great opportunity to get more information. So that's basically what's going to be happening for the next day, I guess. This is going to be the main topic on the mind of a vast majority of Seahawks fans, whatever happens in this mock game. So I'll be reporting on it whatever I can in the, like I said, either later tonight or tomorrow morning. So should be really interesting. What are some things that I'm looking for from this mock game? Well, I think that most of the things that were said about the team when training camp started still kind of apply. You want to see what's going on with the rookies. You want to see what's going on with some of the positional battles. And you also want to see some of the positions that are viewed as being something of a weakness. So rookies kind of goes without saying. Witherspoon, JSN. Although, again, JSN is killing it so much that it's not like him not doing very much in the mock game would make me concerned. Hall, Charbonnet. It'll be kind of interesting to see if we see anything from Charbonnet because he just got back from an injury, or if Walker's going to be ready for this mock game because we haven't gotten any concrete updates about his groin injury. So going to be waiting on that a little bit. Any of the day 3 rookies, of course, you're always going to be kind of interested to see what those guys are up to. Oluwatimi and Evan Brown going to be very interesting because there's a genuine positional battle developing there. The defensive line battle, who's going to be the other starter? If we're going to be starting Reed and Jones, who's the other starter? Is it going to be Mario Edwards? What's going on at the linebacker spot? What's going to be going on behind Wagner and presumably Devin Bush? That kind of stuff. So it's mostly just the same stuff we've been monitoring throughout training camp. And I don't see any reason to really break from that when you're trying to evaluate what really matters. Like, you know, Geno Smith. Obviously, you'd rather see Geno Smith play well than play poorly. But at the same time, if Geno Smith is playing too well, that might not say great things about your defense, which is one thing that's come up a couple of times in the last few days is some people have been a little concerned about Geno turning the ball over quite a bit in training camp so far, but you know, if he wasn't turning the ball over, that might say things not so great about the defense. So you have to understand that there is a little bit of a give and take here, where ideally you've got the offense winning some battles and the defense winning some battles, and it all kind of evening out. You don't want to see one side of the ball too dominant. Like in years past, several years ago, when we still had Russell Wilson, and our offensive coordinator was either Bevel or Schottenheimer, there were a lot of training camps where the defense would just completely dominate the offense. And of course, we had a good defense for many of those years, but often those bad training camps from the offense were indicative of a very slow start offensively. So you don't want that, but you also don't want a situation where the defense gets blown off the field every snap, because that's also indicative of something bad. So you got to understand that there's going to be a little bit of a give and take here. And also, I want to stress this, Geno Smith is not the kind of guy who's going to be able to completely shut down turnovers, I don't think. Even though he's in a very good situation right now, there are going to be some turnovers, but I don't think that'll stop him from being a really good quarterback this year, and I don't think it's going to stop him from being very effective this season. So I'm not even really sweating that much about stuff like that. But, yeah, the mock game is coming up later tonight, going to be a lot of fun. Once again, I'll say here, because obviously we're probably not going to be able to watch this, but I really hope that we don't hear anything about the long snapper, because that's something that so far has been actually very encouraging from the early portions of Seahawks training camp. We haven't really heard anything about long snapping, which I take as a good thing, because if the long snapping was bad, we probably would hear about it. So if Chris Stoll is doing his job, which it sounds like he is, then I think that is great news, because that's going to save us a little bit of money and a little bit of a headache bringing in a veteran long snapper. So I hope to continue to hear that when we get into the mock game, which is, like I said, a bit of a step up from training camp. We can continue to get that no news, which I take to be good news. And yeah, that's really all there is to say about this. I'm excited. Hope you guys are excited as well. If you're going to the game, have fun. If not, we're still going to get an idea of what happens out there. See you guys later.